I am 96 years old. A young man recently asked me what the meaning of life is. I told him without hesitation to make it to heaven. That answer surprises many, but let me tell you, it is not as simple or as abstract as it sounds. It has taken me a century to understand what that really means, and it is a story full of lessons, choices, regrets, love, faith, and discovery. When I was a child, life seemed endless. I remember running barefoot in the fields behind our home, the wind in my hair, the sun warm on my skin. My parents, humble and faithful, taught me right from wrong, love for God, respect for others, and the importance of prayer. I learned early that life is fleeting, that every day is a gift, and that one day I would be accountable for how I lived. But as a child, I didn't understand accountability. I understood fear and obedience, and I followed the rules more out of habit than understanding. In my 20s, I married Samuel, a good man with a kind heart. I was young, full of energy, and eager to live life. Samuel and I built a home together, raised children, and worked hard to provide for our family. I devoted myself to them, and I tried to live a life of virtue, but I often wondered silently if I was doing enough. I questioned if my actions were truly guided by love or by obligation. I prayed nightly, asking for guidance, but sometimes I felt the world was too noisy, and God's voice was faint. Life tested me in ways I could never have imagined. I endured loss, the death of my parents, the passing of close friends, the illness of my children. Each time, I was reminded of the fragility of life and the urgency of living rightly. And in those moments, I understood what my elders had tried to teach me, that living for heaven is not only about faith, but about the choices we make every day, the kindness we extend, the patience we show, the love we offer, and the humility we carry. I recall one winter when I was 34, our village was hit by a terrible storm. Families were trapped, homes were lost, and fear gripped our hearts. Samuel and I went out to help neighbors, to provide warmth, food, and comfort. In that chaos, I realized something profound. To make it to heaven is to lift others even when it is inconvenient, to act with selflessness, not for recognition, but because it is right. That lesson, learned in the cold snow and darkness, stayed with me for the rest of my life. Throughout my 40s and 50s, I watched my children grow. I taught them faith, morality, and the importance of loving others. Yet, I also learned humility. There were times when I failed, moments of impatience, anger, or pride. I said things I regretted, withheld forgiveness too long, and let fear guide my choices. Those failures taught me that making it to heaven is not about perfection. It is about striving, acknowledging our mistakes, and constantly realigning our lives with the principles of goodness, love, and faith. In my 60s, Samuel passed away. For 42 years we had been together, and his death left a void that nothing could fill. But in my mourning, I understood something I had only glimpsed before. Heaven is not just a place, it is a state of living guided by virtue, kindness, and love. I realized that every action, every choice, every moment of patience or compassion brings us closer to the life we are meant to live, and ultimately closer to heaven. I began to reflect on my life, and I understood why I had been given a long life. It was not merely to exist, but to embody and share wisdom. I remembered my own mother's words. Your soul's work is to live rightly, to love fully, and to prepare for the eternity that awaits. I had spent so many decades serving others, caring for family, giving more than I reserved for myself. Yet I also learned the importance of balance. Selflessness is a virtue, yes, but without reflection, without prayer, without a mindful heart, we risk losing our own essence. Heaven is not only about following rules or rituals, it is about cultivating a life of integrity, love, and patience. As I entered my 70s and 80s, I dedicated myself to teaching, mentoring, and guiding others. I spent time in my church, in my community, and with neighbors who were struggling. I listened to their stories, shared my own, and reminded them that life is precious and every choice matters. I emphasized the power of prayer, the importance of forgiveness, and the beauty of selfless love. I have witnessed many people waste precious years arguing over trivial matters, chasing fleeting pleasures, or holding grudges that poison the soul. I have watched others act with kindness, patience, and unwavering faith, and I have seen their lives flourish. And through all of this, I have understood the essence of my simple answer. To make it to heaven is to live a life that, when you finally close your eyes, leaves the world better, purer, and more loving than when you arrived. Now at 97, I reflect on the choices I made, the lessons I learned, and the wisdom I wish I could pass to every young person. Love fully, act righteously, forgive quickly, and never lose sight of your moral compass. Heaven is not a distant dream. It is a life lived with intention, with virtue, and with care for others. Each day is an opportunity to build that heaven here on earth. Every act of kindness, every moment of patience, every choice guided by faith moves us closer to that eternal reward. And so I tell young women and men alike, do not wait. Do not postpone love, forgiveness, or faith. Do not delay in living rightly. Learn to be patient, to love selflessly, to cherish every moment. Pray, reflect, give, and in doing so, you create your own heaven step by step, day by day. In my lifetime, I have seen empires rise and fall, wars rage and end, and the world change beyond recognition. Yet the truth remains the same. Heaven is made in the small, consistent acts of goodness we offer to others, and in the deep love we carry in our hearts. If you live with that purpose, if you act with that intention, your life will be rich, meaningful, and eternal in ways that transcend time. To make it to heaven is simple in words, but profound in practice. Live with love, act with patience, give with humility, and never forget the power of faith. And when your time comes, as it will for all of us, you will leave knowing that you lived a life worth living. That is the meaning of life, and that is the wisdom of 100 years.